I fucked Cthulhu good. Casualties or sacrifice, the only thing getting buried here is wood.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Junk Drawer. I am Sammy Stewart, joined with
Tony.
And Brian.
Yes, welcome back. I know you're so happy to hear us both. I know this is a little bit of a change that we're just kind of focusing on just audio. I know, you guys probably miss all of our lovely faces, but the stress of work, around this time of year, it gets pretty busy for all of us. So it's only for temporary moment till we get things figured out between all of us and our schedules worked out, but we'll be back soon enough. So you guys just have to hear our lovely voices from time to time.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. But yeah, we're actually kind of in a little bit of groove of things. Just a few seconds ago, we actually kind of all brought up our laptops and started looking at different little stuff. I actually brought up to Arya, and Brian is playing modded Minecraft.
Yeah, very modded Minecraft.
Very modded Minecraft. Tony's our editor, so he's monitoring everything, make sure everything's going swell
and good and great and Jesus is good. God,
I was honestly really hoping that you were gonna say swell indeed, but my brain was like
but I said swell and I missed the word indeed and said everything else that
everything but oh gosh. But yeah, I mean, this is gonna be kind of like another game episode, I guess, since we're already like in the groove of things. Like I just said,
I feel like this is gonna be like kind of an everything episode.
Yeah, we kind of miss those moments where we just speak, just not a set topic, but it feels good, like in the first episode.
Well, yeah, I usually ask what we're gonna talk about to at least start off because we can usually go off from there, and then probably have something else in the back of our minds in case we stop or whatever. Which, by the way, editing the last podcast, we seem to be going a lot smoother with our conversations.
Right.
I definitely had to cut out a lot less than I did before.
Yeah, definitely getting back into the groove of it and everything. Or not back into the groove, but you know what I mean? Getting into a groove.
I think getting used to each other, not saying that we're not used to each other, but just like over podcasts and stuff. Definitely without the camera.
Well, I mean, I'd even argue that it is getting used to each other because before the podcast, we really didn't hang out too much, but now we hang out like once a week. We just do this. And
we're building chemistry. So
I was terrible at that in school.
Chemistry or building chemistry?
Chemistry. Oh, I was great at building chemistry.
I was going to say, you're a very sociable person.
I think that's kind of like one of my curses, honestly, is I'm very sociable and friendly to a lot of people, and it kind of like hinders when I actually like try to.
It can have repercussions.
It has a lot of repercussions. Both like just some people are like, why are you friends with them? Why are you friends with whoever? I'm like, well, I'm friends because I want to be, and honestly, whatever beef you got, beef.
We've got the beef.
Whatever beef you guys have going on, it has nothing to do with me. Don't get me wrong, I'll try to help solve it, but that's just how I do things. I have no hate for either of you.
I never really understood that why people would kind of just be like, oh, why are you hanging out with this person? Or it's like whenever someone becomes like unpopular among like a certain friend group or I don't know, if they become disliked by a certain group of people, if one person still likes them, it's like, why do you like them? They're this and that. It's
or they've done such.
This is kind of stupid to me because I've seen that happen before. That's happened before with me. Like, oh, why do you like that girl? Her face is weird.
Face is weird. Wow. Have you seen this girl's face? God.
I've had people tell me that in middle school.
This day and age, all you see is people's eyes.
Yeah. That's true. Brian was just talking about that. He saw Lily at work. And by the way, we were saying like people's last names in the last podcast, so I'm bleeping them out with a fart. I just figured like
people probably won't want to like. Oh, it's probably wise that we don't do that just because so people don't have a chance to look someone up or something.
Yeah. And I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, there's only like the people you know that are watching," but
no, because like, obviously we got 2 thumbs down from somebody from our last video.
Really?
Yeah, and
yeah, people are starting to dislike our stuff. I'd say we made it.
Right?
I have a feeling I know
Right?
who those people are, but
Yeah, I was thinking maybe we do know those people,
Mhm.
and they're just like trolling or whatever. But
Yeah,
it definitely could be just like random people.
I mean, like I got a few people too from me being.
well,
at
I
work.
have a feeling we're starting to get random people just viewing, which is nice. It's very nice
We
to
are,
get
like,
the wider
normally-
audience.
Normally when dude, I can't even say anything. Obviously, you guys both know. I haven't gone to sleep yet. I've been at work since 9:45, and
Jesus.
it is now
10:35.
10:35.
That's legit.
The next day, 10:35 a.m.
Yeah.
About 12 hours.
So, yeah. At least it's not 48 this time.
True.
Yeah. That is true. That is very true.
Yes.
I don't know why that line stuck in my head. So there's a story behind that. Brian, I think you know this story.
I think I do.
There was one time where my at the time girlfriend, I was quote unquote watching her after she got her wisdom teeth taken out. So she was like very loopy, and I decided I want to make a video out of it because I thought it'd be pretty funny. So I was recording in the dentist's office when we were picking her up, and she like said something, and the dentist, because they like kind of treat you like a kid when you're like all loopy. Yeah, she's like, that is true. That is very true. And like, for whatever reason, that line in the video just kind of stuck with me, and now I like say that all the time.
You know, I think it's
very true.
It's always funny to have like moments like those. You just like key phrases just stick with you throughout time, and you're just like, wow, I remember when that happened.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I was driving today before I picked up Brian, and I was like, dang, high school was interesting. It really was interesting. And then the only image played in my head was with one of my former friends of mine. You know, they pointed out something. Even the teacher pointed this out. She walked on the other side of the classroom across when I waved to her and didn't say a word to me. Teacher looks at me and go, "What did you do?" And I don't know why that memory played in my head. And I'm like, I want to throw up. Because I'm like, that seems like such like a kid thing to think about. You know, because you're so used to seeing these people like all the time. And then when they don't say anything to you, you're like, dang, you messed up somewhere, didn't you?
Yeah.
I look back at him just kind of like, yeah, I probably did. I don't know what it was, though.
one of those lines that sticks with me is from my first year as a tech theater student when I first met Slager. Like, I had people tell me, like, oh, Slager's an awesome teacher. Oh, he doesn't, he doesn't care about what he says. But, I mean, in a good way. Yeah. Like, he doesn't have a filter, which is, in a lot of senses, good.
He's down to earth.
Very down to earth, yes. He's a very cool guy. But one of my first experiences with him was I was putting pig irons on the fly rail, and it was like one of those one-on-one experiences with the teacher, and it was like really cool. But he goes, "You know what you remind me of? You remind me of the fat mouse from Cinderella." It's like at the time I was like, "Oh, I see it though."
That's awesome. That is cool.
And I was like, I had never had so much respect, but also like slight anger with somebody at the same time, and I was like, "Huh?
Excuse me?
I don't know how to feel about that."
It's exactly what I looked him dead in the eyes. I go, "I don't know how to process that. I'll get back to you later."
Right.
I'll get back to you on that.
I think when he was there for quite a few shows, he's like, "Sam, I'm really happy that, you're here with everybody and blah, blah, It's kind of sad that we never really got to work together." I'm like, he seems like a cool guy. So I see what you mean when you said that, because I had no idea who this man was when he came up and talked to me. I was kind of like, "Hi." He came up, shake my hand. He was like, "You were phenomenal." I was like,
Thanks. You.
Thanks.
I took his class my first year at Guilford. And I remember we kind of did like a cold read, so I started taking acting, and I took that tech theater class my freshman year. Those were two of my electives that year. I didn't take choir until sophomore year, but I remember we did a cold read of The Monkey's Paw, and I don't remember who I was reading for.
Monkey.
I don't remember who I was reading for, but like we were doing British accents, and I remember him complimenting me on my British accent, so I felt really verified, I guess.
Delighted. I feel grateful for people like that who are open and straightforward when it comes to anything. You know, you can always go to that person if they have something to say because they're gonna be straight to the point with you.
Exactly. I love people who are straight. People who avoid the point just to spare somebody. It's like, I get it, but I hate it. And it's like, just get to it.
I'm trying to get better at that because I definitely beat around the bush when it's something harsh like that.
Mm-hmm.
I am trying to get better. I am slowly but surely getting better at confrontation, though.
And yeah, I've definitely noticed you're starting to get a little bit more better about that because, like, now if we ever have a disagreement, we are pretty.
Yeah.
We were straightforward, and it doesn't hinder anything. I felt like previously we'd have some kind of disagreement and not confront it.
Yeah, it would just be like awkward. This weird tension between you and me, which we've gotten better about.
But now we get, we have our slight argument, get a little heated, and then we're fine.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's always good to kind of like know the boundaries of somebody and then actually, expressing and explaining that beyond to a different point. Like we talked about in episode 4, empathy, you actually get a chance to understand somebody. Which also, if you check out Lumacy Let's Talk, I am finishing up an episode about empathy and sympathy. It's
nice.
It'll be interesting.
A lot of people don't know
the
difference.
Tony's music for the background, which you guys should hopefully one day be able to check out for yourselves.
Yeah.
But
I make music with this thing called Music Maker Jam. I would use FL Studio, but I don't know if my computer can handle it quite yet because the motherboard on my last computer got fried from that.
So, it was really that?
I'm pretty sure it was because...
Which laptop was that?
That was not the Samsung. What do I have? Acer? This is Acer, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was Asus, I think.
Okay, yeah, that's the one that has the overheating issue.
Yeah.
It wasn't that fried it. I took your computer completely apart.
What was it?
It was your cooling system fucked up. So your motherboard was literally fried.
Like deep fried, like in a fryer.
Yeah, like deep fried.
Boiling oil in my computer.
I took the cooling system off, and underneath it was seared. So.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so it's a good thing you didn't try running that anymore, because it probably would have caught fire.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't.
It turns on.
Does it really?
Yeah, I got it to turn on.
What the fuck?
For a nanosecond, and then it turned back off. But I'm like,
wow.
Yeah,
that's what would happen. Is it actually froze, and I was like, oh fuck. Please, God, don't let this happen to me. And I restarted my computer, and it wouldn't turn on.
Luckily, mine was a simple fix. Like, I shouldn't say simple. Like, hard drive failing is not a simple fix, but, like, luckily it wasn't something internal where I had to get an entirely new laptop. I just took apart this and put it back together, and I was like, oh, okay, that works.
Right? You could Frankenstein it back together.
I did, and it works better than it did before, so...
One of the things I've been doing lately is actually every time we record a podcast, you guys saw that the other day, I've kind of gone live on Instagram via mine and not Lumacy Let's Talks in the process. So, some people want to watch the live portion of what we're doing.
Yeah.
Because I think that, some people actually like the interesting portions where, we don't edit out and whatnot. It's almost like we mentioned before, a blooper reel, but it's... If like you see it, you see it. If you don't, you don't.
Like the behind the scenes?
Yeah, in a sense.
The BTS.
Well, that's why a lot of a lot of podcasts are actually recorded live.
Oh, yeah.
And then when they go to, like, YouTube, they're edited a little bit. But
that's not what I want to do.
It's just because YouTube's policies are a lot more tight, tight than Twitch. Twitch has a lot of, like, kind of ridiculous policies, but...
Yeah.
It's not horrible. When I was streaming a couple days ago, I almost got in trouble for saying something. And I was like, wow, I really need to watch what I'm saying while I'm just going live.
The C word, the 2019 C word, the C19 word?
No. Wait, I can't say that?
Oh, I was just making a guess. What word is...
No, it wasn't a word. It was... I accidentally said something political.
Oh.
And that's something you can't do. I mean, you can, but you're going to get, targeted by the algorithm.
Interesting.
Gotcha.
Typically, YouTube's not as bad about political, but your videos will be demonetized.
Yeah, I wouldn't think they would be that bad.
Yeah, they won't take your videos down, but they won't
There's some
monetize
things,
them.
There are some things that like could or could not be deemed political. How do they deem what is and isn't political?
Because mine was blatantly political. It was about the election.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's kind of like the things that are like, generally obvious. Then there's like the other portion that's kind of like, this is my opinion. You can take it as you want.
There's a very fine line that can be drawn. It's like, honestly, I wish content didn't have to rely on monetization to, get some sort of income from it. Which, I mean, I get why it does, but...
Yeah, all the money comes from ads. Pretty
Mm-hmm.
much and that's how websites work as well. The more clicks, the more ad agencies will pay you to put their ads on your website.
Yeah. But that's the thing though. Like, that's how people get paid too. Like when I was doing my podcast before, I got ads for the campaigns, telling people to vote, saying people that they should listen.
Yeah.
But more times than not, it's kind of like, if you do or don't, it's like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
People aren't really going to care because it's an ad. There's ads everywhere. One of the things I find to be like entirely dumb is that I keep getting ads for Trojan condoms, and I think it's one of the most annoying things. And I'm trying to like wonder like what are they like trying to point at? Because I'm kind of like thanks, no thanks. But I mean, like it's cool. I'm never really too concerned about stuff like that because I don't do anything with my life to be worried about that.
Ads are fucking freaky sometimes. Like I'll say something to Brian, or Brian will say something.
Yeah,
it'll be like Brian will say something to me about some specific brand or whatever, and I won't like buy from that at all. I won't look it up. I won't do anything about it except for hearing Brian talk about it, and then I'll get an ad for that thing.
Dude, I think it's kind of one thing. I mean, like I use Google all the time.
There is targeted ads.
Yeah.
There are targeted ads. I would get like things that like you bought online. I would understand that kind of thing, but like when you're talking to someone in real life about that stuff, and then it just like pops up without you having to look it up or anything, it's freaky.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little confusing. But I mean, like I have zero complaints about what actually happens when stuff like that happens, because I mean, maybe sometimes it's something interesting, or sometimes it's going to be something that's like out of the blue and you're not a fan of it, and it ends up becoming just straight annoying, and you get tired of it real quick. But
I love saying something that's very obscure, and you get that really like bad ad for it. Like I can't remember exactly what it was. It was something about lettuce, I think, and I got an ad for lettuce. I'm like,
what?
What? I didn't know there was ads for lettuce.
For like just like heads of lettuce.
It was just lettuce. I swear it was just. I mean, it could have been produce, but all I saw in the ad was lettuce.
I mean, like, no, what is it? I was one of the things on Snapchat. There was an ad. I think it was in like England or something. A mom had. God, it was a ranch. It was a ranch commercial, but the mom had.
No.
What was it called, dog? It was so funny.
Was it like a Hidden Valley, or was it like some other brand?
I think it was some other brand. It was like confetti, whatever, and it was going ranch to trick kids to eat their salads. And I'm kind of like, are you kidding me?
Ads in other countries are kind of wild.
Yeah, I don't
Japan
believe.
Especially.
Oh my god, they're so funny.
Japanese ads. One that pops up in my mind specifically, the first one that comes to mind is that like Mario car commercial, where it's an ad for a car. About. I don't remember what car it was, but somebody's like drifting it around, and it's like a cool car commercial. And you see the car door open, and this like really buff dude dressed as Mario just steps out, and he's like jacked. He's like this like super, and they like made his nose look like Mario's nose too. So it was just that weird.
Yeah,
like,
I remember this now.
That's messed up.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
You know what else is wild? Japanese game shows.
Yo, I love the one where it's like you have to bite it to see if it's chocolate or to see if it's real or something. I actually watch that one occasionally, and I think that's actually pretty cool.
You know which one I saw recently? It was a game show, kind of like Jeopardy, but if you got the answer wrong, you had to get into the ring with a professional sumo wrestler.
Yeah, no. I could never.
It's this big ass guy. It's like, he puts his hand up, he gestures to come towards you, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Dude, I have like mad respect for sumo wrestlers because it's nuts some of the shit they do.
It is pretty intense, honestly.
Personally, I've never watched any sumo stuff.
I've never actually sat down and watched a match of sumo wrestling, but from what I've seen and some of these guys that I've seen like that do it, it's just like, oh, I would never want to fight you or be on your bad side.
I've seen sumo wrestling in Austin Powers, and that's pretty much
Austin Powers is probably one of the most funny and iconic movies of all time. I don't care what anybody says. Dude, that was
I've only really seen the third one all the way through.
Does that explain
that was
my
a
life?
long time ago.
The fact that I watched Austin Powers.
It's a wee nutty.
Smoking a pancake.
Fucking love that part.
Dude.
Pipe and a crepe.
Dude, you want to smoke on a pancake?
There's this guy, Roman.
Oh Lord.
He could do the sumo guy's voice really well.
Fat bastard.
Fat bastard.
Yo,
he could do his voice really good.
Bastard.
And he was like, we'd be.
It's
playing,
just Shrek essentially.
Yeah, I mean that's true. But we'd be playing like Black Ops on PlayStation 3, and he'd like go into the lobby chat and go, "I'm gonna put you on my belly." Then,
that's legit.
And then the whole lobby would just start.
That's
cracking
legit.
Up.
Oh man. Oh gosh.
God, those movies are amazing.
We should do a marathon.
That'd be dope. That'd be
fucking funny.
I want to go into a little side note when it comes to content and stuff. I was watching something just recently when I was actually on my way to. Wow, did that hurt?
No, actually, it felt amazing.
I was somebody. You know the YouTube channel. Should I just reference them?
Yeah.
Dope or Nope. Is a YouTube channel where they rate products, blah blah blah. If you have seen it, if you haven't seen it, I do recommend it. They're pretty funny. I didn't watch it for really the products that they get. It's just it's a funny group.
Yeah.
What?
Every time you do that, I get more and more scared that now I feel left out. Stop cracking, everybody. I already did it. But the co-founder of Dope or Nope decided to make a big decision of canceling the show.
Oh, really?
Without consulting, the viewers and whatnot.
Why is that? Why?
Just because with
life
COVID,
happens.
with COVID happening, it made a big difference. How they view things, and it was kind of hard for them to create more content for everybody to.
So
view.
Would they just be holding off until it's over, or?
Yeah, that's the thing. He was going to do it and change the channel entirely and make it to a whole new thing, but the comment section just like lost it entirely. Like they were like, no, you shouldn't do that. Dope or Nope was like the biggest thing. They love it. You can't just take that away without like consulting, us in a sense. And they like try to think of different new stuff. And he posted a whole apology video saying that he was sorry for, making that decision without really consulting anyone.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well,
a lot of those bigger channels like that.
Yeah.
It's like they impact so many people's lives, like help them out of certain ruts they're in.
Facts.
And when that gets taken away like that, all of a sudden it can have an impact, especially on like a community like that.
But yeah, like you're right. You're entirely right. Like people were pointing out stuff like, there's a reason why Dope or Nope was just so big. It's because of things that they did and they connected with people. And Matthias from the show, he made a point, that what he was doing was for them and the content that they made was for them. But at the same time, it's a lot of YouTube channels just kind of make content for people just to watch just because they made the content. But Dope or Nope was stuff that they wanted their viewers to enjoy and that their viewers actually wanted.
Exactly.
And that's why, whenever we do our episodes and stuff, I always say, comment down below, what you want to hear next, what you want us to talk about, because I want us to really premise on, what our viewers want to hear.
Exactly.
Because I think that's like a big factor of where we're going to go next and how far it's going to take us. Because you really can't go anywhere if everybody's just watching it just because, we want people to come back and
enjoy what
share
we
the
put
stuff.
out.
Yeah, constantly.
That's true, but I also think that the creators should also be enjoying the stuff that they make.
Yeah. He also made that point. He did that with it was Tanner and
I'm sure they enjoy what they make. So as long as you enjoy it and you do have the means to make that content, then you should keep doing it. But also, my personal opinion is I think the creators kind of have that decision themselves.
Oh, yeah,
whether to start or whether to stop or keep creating that content. I do understand that. It does have an impact on the fans, especially once you create this audience that keeps coming back to keep watching the content, that keeps supporting you. But ultimately, I don't think it can be the audience's choice. Definitely, it's a good thing to at least, kind of see what your audience's take on it is.
But don't let that completely influence your decision.
Yeah, don't let that completely influence your decision, because you could end up making because that happens to a lot of YouTubers where their audience wants to see specific content and they end up not liking it, but they feel like they have to do it.
Yeah,
otherwise
That, and sometimes they just overwork themselves. Like, even some of the bigger YouTubers, like Markiplier, PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, they've all taken, like, month-long breaks before, just because it gets overwhelming, especially when you have to edit everything yourself.
Right, and I think every, big YouTuber has gone through that phase. That's kind of an inevitable phase, even if you do see it coming, that you're eventually going to, overwork yourself and burn out, and your content isn't going to be
going to seem like it's robotic.
It's not going to be as high quality as it once was. You're just going to be pumping out content, trying to make that money, and you're going to start doing things that you don't want to do, that you think people are going to like, kind of trending things.
Everything that you just said is the points that they made. why they make their content. They said they all said that they can make content and then the viewers won't enjoy it, but they did, so they may not do it again. But they can make some content that they don't enjoy, but the viewers did, but they won't post it because they didn't think that it was real.
Exactly.
It's based on what you do, and if you enjoy it, then you should share it. And the thing about making money, people nowadays just making videos just to make the money. It just seems kind of like pointless nonsense, or there wasn't really any value or genuine,
because then it's just work.
Exactly.
It's just work.
It's always been work. As soon as you start making money from it, and as soon as you start relying on the income that you get from that.
And going back to the bigger YouTubers, it is work for them, but it's
fun.
It's enjoyable.
Yeah, they need to enjoy what they do, because that's one of my favorite phrases. It's very well known phrase. It's like, if you enjoy your work, you'll never actually work a day in your life.
Yeah. Because it was who else said something? I gotta. This was just, I'm so tired.
So many people have said that kind of thing before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much every YouTuber that's ever talked about it has said pretty much all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was Patrick on that same thing. He said that it is a job. What they're doing, it is a legit job. It is, but it's fun. What they're doing is fun, and that's why they love that job so much. And what they were going to do was going to impact them entirely. Yada yada yada, and so on and so forth. I'm happy that they're sticking with it being Dope or Nope. Because that's what I joined in as. It being originally, it was the three of the original cast, but things happen, things change over time.
Mm-hmm.
You really can't do anything about that. But it's still good to see that they're still continuing with that and continue that content, because I love stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Before we do any marathon, we need to do a marathon of Naruto with Tony, because it's such a good show.
You just need to get caught up.
Yeah.
I think I've said that almost every podcast.
Right? Yeah. You. You need to catch
it's just so you can understand all the references Sam and I make all the time.
Right.
Anyone I talk to about anime, they always tell me to watch Shippuden, so I need to get on that. I do need to get on that.
It's
eventually.
Good. Way better than this regular Naruto.
Definitely.
Speaking of anime, Attack on Titan.
Have you watched it yet?
I haven't watched it yet. Have you?
I just started it.
And it's just the Japanese version right now, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
As far as I know.
I think I'm gonna wait for the dub, just because I've watched it all the way through dubbed. I've watched the first season. I watched when it was just only Japanese sub, because that's how early it came out. I watched it like as soon as it came out. I didn't even know it was a new anime at the time. But I loved it, and I remember when they finally put out the dub, I rewatched it, and I understood it a lot more. I understood what was going on a lot more, which was nice, because I didn't have to read. I didn't have to try and read all the subtitles as fast as I could, which is why I watched dubbed, because I can listen to it and know what's going on without having to read it, and I can watch the actual screen as opposed to reading the text at the bottom. So I want to talk about modded Minecraft. I don't think I've ever played. No. I have actually. I think I have played modded Minecraft once.
Yes, with you. It was with me and Mikey.
Yeah, with you and Mikey. And I don't remember it very much, but so there are a lot of mods for Minecraft, and for a lot of games really, but for Minecraft specifically, there are tons and tons of mods. And you were saying earlier how Terraria is compared to vanilla Minecraft, and then modded Minecraft compared to Terraria.
Yeah, it's true. Right there.
But it really depends on what you get for modded Minecraft
and what your computer can run,
what your computer can handle as well.
Also, you were talking about shaders earlier before. Sorry, I just found out you can walk through garden cloches, and that was news to me. It's just a thing that grows stuff, but I don't think a shader would be very beneficial in Stone Block for the fact that there's no sunlight.
There's no sunlight in Stone Block?
There's no sunlight in Stone. You literally start off in a room completely encased in stone, and the entire world is all stone.
Huh.
When you dig straight up, there's a mining dimension, which has ore in the stone, but it's still all stone. And then if you dig up from there, it's the end, but it's all end block. There's no actual sky.
Weird.
It's all stone.
There's no atmosphere.
So, there's also no nether.
Interesting. I mean, there's still light. There's still
that's
torches,
true, but I don't know how. Maybe once I actually have a home with nice things, it might be something I can do. But I don't know how to install a mod on top of this mod.
That's true. Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know. I don't know much about Minecraft mods, but I think I tried installing a shader on this current computer, which it could run it. It couldn't run it well. It was very laggy, but it could run it. So I have confidence that with slightly better hardware that I would be able to run at least an okay shader. Yeah. That at least makes it look cooler.
Yeah. Now, texture packs is a different story. I know how to get texture packs onto the mod packs, honestly, but
yeah.
RLCraft's supposed to come with a shader full preloaded, but I don't know how to get it to work.
RLCraft is one of the hardest things I've ever played in my entire life.
We should definitely try it.
Next to Dark Souls.
Really? Is it? Is it as hard as Dark Souls?
Brian,
It's just staring me down, I'm assuming.
Brian, have you played?
I've loaded it up once before I had the proper RAM to run it, so not really. Oh, we should play Pixelmon. Anyways.
Pixelmon.
Uh-huh.
We got that running at one point, didn't we?
We did, but neither of our computers... Or no, yours could run it, mine couldn't, but I was the one that needed to set up the server because I knew how.
Yeah.
It is.
And there's somebody else there. Was that Lucas?
Did we have?
Oh, that was a while ago then, yeah.
Did we have a
that
junk
was-
drawer Instagram?
Huh?
We don't have a junk drawer. We talked about it.
Yeah, we need to make one.
Yeah.
Should we talk about the catastrophe that is Cyberpunk on consoles?
My God,
Oh.
bro.
I haven't-
I should say on the PS4 and Xbox One, not the PS5 and Series X, because it looks beautiful on those two.
I hate you.
I haven't seen much from Cyberpunk 2077 since it came out. I have seen one clip, however, of there's one guy sitting in a wheelchair. The guy who's
I've
playing
seen that clip.
punched him. Then the guy in the wheelchair stood up, clipped through. He was like standing through the wheelchair. He was clipping through it, and he like ducked, like scared, and then he ran away. And like as he was running away, he was like running over things so he wasn't actually running on the ground. He was like running up over things, so it looked like he was floating.
Solid.
Yeah.
So my experiences from Cyberpunk 2077. Actually, you know what? Let's not even go there first. Let's go to the fact that their main focus was next gen consoles, which was not the first priority because not everybody can afford a next gen console.
Well, it's not even just that. It's that they promised the game on the previous gen consoles,
That is also
but then they announced the new console because they've been working on this game for 10 years.
exactly.
So they announced the new gen consoles maybe a year and a half ago. No, it was about a year ago,
Yeah, it was
actually.
about a year ago now.
I'm sure they knew, but it's just like they heard about the new consoles and they're like drooling, foaming at the mouth. They're like, "Oh my god, this is gonna be what it's for!" But we're not gonna release a next gen version of it. We're just gonna release it for the Xbox One and PlayStation 4. But in reality, it's a game for the PS5 and Series
Yeah,
X.
exactly.
So what really happened? Are the graphics just like downgraded a
Oh,
lot?
it looks like a PS1 game on the PS4
Yes.
and Series
Yes,
X.
and the fact is that in the game
Or
you move so
Xbox One.
fast and things happen so quick.
It doesn't have the time to render.
It can't render it, and you can actually like hurt your eyes.
Mm-hmm. The previous
You're like, what?
the previous gen consoles, they can't keep up. They just can't keep up. Like even on the PS5, like me and my coworkers have had our game crash already.
Mine has crashed twice.
Mine's only crashed once, and it was in the beginning with the tutorial because who did you start off with?
I was a middle class.
So you were
Street cred.
You were street kid.
Yeah, street cred.
Okay,
Cred.
I thought it was kid. I thought it was street kids.
You have street cred since you were on the streets.
Oh,
That's why I
okay.
keep saying
I started off as a crap. What do they call it?
Nomad?
Nomad. Yeah, I
Gotcha.
started off as Nomad. And there's a part where you're driving through the little town that you start off in after you get in contact with somebody.
You're finally awake.
Which happens much later in the game.
And I flew around a corner in the car because turning in that game, it's like you turn a little bit and then you just whip.
Yeah.
Like you just. That's just a function of the game, though. It's like a.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not because it's laggy. It's just a function of the game.
Okay.
But I'm just like tearing ass down this road, and then all of a sudden I see a guy on the bench, and then he teleports to the middle of the street, and it's supposed to be like a tutorial kind of thing. Like I think he was supposed to be in the street, but he was on the bench because I was doing the tutorial faster than I probably should have been doing it.
Same.
Huh.
So, and then the game froze for a second. I'm like, please don't crash, please don't crash, please don't crash. And it didn't crash. It was just trying to load a message telling me, like, if you hit this, you'll gain law enforcement or, law enforcement will be looking for you.
Jesus.
But it, like, froze for a good, like, maybe 20 seconds. And I was like, oh, no. And then after that, it
my
ran
God.
fine. It was just that one instance that I had where it was just like, I'm thinking here.
Weird.
I will say that probably one of the most OP things in the game is probably stealth, because there's like a little altercation between these Tiger Claw, and these civilians, and they already killed the one dude, and I was like, okay, cool.
There's so much death in that game. It's so much fun. But...
It is. But so 3 dudes just standing there, minding their business, pointing their gun at the civilian. They see me. I'm like, oh crap. Let me just drive past them real quick. Park my car in the middle of the street, obviously, because who needs a parking spot?
Exactly.
And I crouch, just move a little bit out of this guy's view, just enough.
Who's
Which
that?
Anybody,
must have been the wind,
right? And first things first, the immersion in the game kind of gets ruined a little bit, the more you play it. But if
that's true of any game, though.
Yeah, but if I am a foot away from you and I accidentally bring out my gun and you hear click, click, and you don't turn to look, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, okay. But I hack into the thing that was next to the guy. And so he's distracted and he turns. I stealthily take down one of the people and I walk around the corner and just drop their corpse. Just right there. I'm like, cool. And I loot their body. I go back. I walk behind the guy. This is in broad daylight, by the way. Middle of the street. I take out him. The other guard is just sitting there staring. We're looking around like, it's a nice day going on over here.
Stealth is a little, I think that's just maybe the game not being able to keep up on that system, possibly, because my stealth has been a little bit different experience-wise.
I have no idea. If that might be true.
Hacking is so much fun, though. Like,
hacking's interesting.
I initially maxed out. Like, I dropped everything and just maxed out my intelligence, I think it is, for hacking. Yeah. And now it's just like I've leveled up enough to the point where I can set off people's grenades in their pockets.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like, it's the best thing ever.
The one annoying thing is that you have to kind of, what is it? Don't you have to like kill people in order to get like more, what are they called? Whatever points to hack something else.
Yes.
I think that's one of the most annoying gimmicks to have in the game.
Oh, what did you say?
So when you use your hacking ability, it's like a part of you technically, and you connect to whatever else. So it's like little like bars, hacking bars. Once you use it, it's gone. And the only way you get that back is if you kill somebody or take them down.
So you get like their hacking bar? Is that what it is?
Yeah, basically. So I was trying to go into this lady's room, and this is moments before like I had the whole stealth thing because I blinded the guy. I try to go into her room. I can't. I don't have any bars. I'm right in front of the door. I don't have any bars.
Can't you blow the door up?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of things you can do in that game.
Yeah.
Like
you can boost your strength stat and just rip doors open. Yada yada yada.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a fun game. I do recommend it for anybody, but you're gonna be fighting the game for a while.
Yeah,
they have the whole refund thing that they talked about too, which makes sense. If people want to get a refund, if you got the digital copy, you can go through the store and go through the refund process. If you got, I want to say hard copy.
I mean, it is a hard copy.
Technically, yeah, it's a hard copy. If you got a hard copy of it, you can actually go into the store and see if the retailer will take it back. But if you can't, you have to go to CD Projekt Red, and they will go through this whole process.
And let me tell you, most retailers won't. We won't.
Yep.
If it's open, we can't take it.
Yeah,
and that's true of everywhere.
Yeah,
we can't resell it as a new game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's
if
true.
It's open, we can't resell it. We just have to move it to defective.
Yeah, which is not. It's just the game itself.
Have you guys played the previous? Because there are previous Cyberpunk games, right?
Yes.
Have you guys played any of the previous Cyberpunk
I have not,
games?
but I've been wanting to.
I'm not. There's other punk games as well. Like, I heard Cloudpunk is a game that came out recently.
And it's like by them?
I don't think it's by them, no.
Oh.
But I've heard some decent things about, that kind of stuff.
Huh. And I do want to say, Sam, you were saying earlier about the clicking the gun behind the guy and him not realizing. One game that does do that is The Last of Us Part 2.
Which one game of the year?
It's I don't disagree with that personally.
I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna probably get hate for it, but I feel as if Ghost of Tsushima got robbed.
But a lot of people do feel that way too.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like it was like a competition between Ghost of Tsushima and
It was.
Last of Us Part 2.
And they both were Sony games. That says a lot about exclusives, other gen consoles.
I personally haven't played Ghost of Tsushima
Ghost
yet.
of Sushi, and I haven't played The Last of Us yet, so
we gotta switch those.
Yo,
I don't have a physical
right now.
copy.
Well,
Brandon,
yeah, but I'm saying like we both gotta play each game, but and it the in the like base difficulty of the game, it doesn't like do that sound thing. It's if you play Grounded. If you play on Grounded,
it's realistic.
And you gotta be like very like careful about where you open your inventory and where you switch your guns because clickers can hear it.
That's legit.
I've never played Grounded, but I've seen people play on Grounded, and that looks so
that is something
stressful.
that we should do on the channel.
I played on hard. I played that game on hard, and it was already stressful for me.
Oh god, I make you guys play through horror games. You guys should make me play through the Last of Us series.
Oh my gosh. There's another game that has a realistic function. Like the option. Metro.
Metro Exodus?
Yes.
Or, okay.
Any of the Metros. There's a realistic version of it. Which there's what is it? There's a Ranger DLC, which I think is the dumbest thing ever because it's just realistic version that people just downloaded, but that's in the past, I guess. But you can play in realistic, and it's the scariest thing.
Oh god,
it is the scariest thing. Like you can die instantly if you walk into the wrong room.
Oh,
that's crazy.
And like you're pretty OP if you play on easy mode, just going through the story. But ammo is shortage. Everything is harder to find. I love all the Metro games. I really have. I love stuff like that, apocalyptic stuff. It's beautiful.
Oh yeah,
it
definitely.
is art.
I've never played any of the Metro games. Are they like what are they about?
World got nuked.
Yeah, pretty much.
So is it really?
Survive.
It's kind of just like a wasteland kind of game.
It is a big wasteland kind
of
game.
Is Fallout it like an kind of vibes, but not.
It's Fallout, but if Fallout had a realistic turn point,
exactly,
and less mechanical options. Basically, it's like.
So it's like a wasteland.
Yeah, if Fallout happened today, that's what it would be.
Yeah,
interesting.
Except the guns.
Can we also talk about the future Bethesda? Because it's
a big move that they made.
It's a big move, and I don't know how Microsoft's going to make their money back. I don't know what they're expecting Bethesda to really pull.
Yeah, because they did say that they're not going to.
They're not going to make it console exclusives because they're going to lose out. Microsoft bought Bethesda for $13 billion, and me and my coworkers looked up how much, how much Skyrim alone has made. It's only made $3 billion.
What?
Yeah, Skyrim itself, with all the copies it's sold, has only made $3 billion.
So how are they?
Which is a lot of fucking money, but they bought that for $13 billion.
Yeah.
So imagine the sales they're now going to have to do, because like. Doom, it's an amazing game, but it only has a very small fan base. It's not a huge fan base.
Like everyone knows about that game, but it's really just kind of has a cult following.
Yes. Yeah. Fallout, its following has been dying, especially after Fallout 76.
Yeah.
Which, don't get me wrong, I love all the previous Fallouts, but 76 turned me off of it. And if they put another one out, I'm going to wait a little bit, see reviews on it before I buy it. Evil Within, that series is, I'm pretty sure, done.
There's only 2 games.
There's only 2 games as of so far. If they do another one, they might be able to come back, because Evil Within was actually pretty big. I mean, people like horror games.
Yeah.
Their biggest thing is going to be Elder Scrolls 6, and I hope they don't rush it to try to make back the money that they just spent on Bethesda.
I hope they don't make it too expensive.
Well, it's going to be a $70 game.
Yeah, boy.
Because titles are now $10 more for the new series. It's only going to be on the new systems, most likely.
I'm upset. It's okay. I'm never going to pre-order a new game again. Cyberpunk really pissed me off. So,
I don't pre-order games for that reason. I got lucky that I really enjoyed The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah.
And I still haven't played the Resident Evil, but I do plan on playing it.
Yeah.
I want to do a marathon of all the Resident Evil games.
That'd be a lot of fun. Another thing, like, I was, talking again about the Bethesda thing. Like, something that might make them some money back is if they do, and I would buy it, because I'm a huge Elder Scrolls fan. I've played every single Elder Scrolls multiple times.
Yeah.
I still play Skyrim to this day.
Mm-hmm.
I want to play the original Elder Scrolls. I want to see what that's like.
Oh, trust me, it's something you can't go back to. I can't even go back to Oblivion, and I loved Oblivion when it came out. But I can't even go back to it.
Not even. What was before Oblivion? Morrowind?
No,
Morrowind's after. Morrowind.
What?
Yeah, Morrowind's technically, if I'm not mistaken, it's not an official title, is it?
Elder Scrolls.
I could have sworn Morrowind was before Oblivion.
I got it. Elder Scrolls Game Order.
I forgot what the first one was called, but
it
I'm pretty
goes Elder Scrolls Arena release
Arena,
date,
that's what it was.
March 25th of 1994. The Elder Scrolls 2, Daggerfall, Elder Scrolls Legend, Battlespire, Elder Scrolls Adventures, Redguard, Elder Scrolls Travels, Stormhold, Dawnstar, Shadowkey, Elder Scrolls. Wow, I just lost my Roman numerals. 4, Oblivion, Elder Scrolls 5, Skyrim, Elder Scrolls Online.
Which was
wait. So where
trash.
was Morrowind? Did they not? Is that not technically an Elder Scrolls
Morrowind
game?
was a DLC.
It's a DLC. Yeah.
For what game?
Fuck, my brain just stopped working. Sorry.
3.
It was for 3, yeah.
For 3.
Oh.
And they also did a Morrowind DLC for online.
So technically,
sure.
yes, you are correct. It was before Oblivion. Because it came out in 2002.
Yes.
I
great
never
game,
knew
by the
that.
way.
I thought that was like a separate game. I didn't know that was.
I kind of wish they'd bring
expansion.
back some of the weapon choices because I'm pretty sure it was the Morrowind DLC that added quite a bit of weapons. It was in 3 they added a bunch of weapons though. And then 4 they died back down, and 5 there was. I mean, there's still a lot of weapon choices, but it's not as many as like because you could have like a katana, you could have.
Oh yeah, that's what they had in. I mean, they had the mod packs and stuff that you could buy through the.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Bethesda and whatnot.
But what I hate about doing, especially on console, like because when I sit down and do an Elder Scrolls game, I'm gonna play it on console. I played through Skyrim several times on my PC, but
it's not the same.
It's not. I mean, it is and it isn't because it doesn't impede your trophies. So I haven't yet to platinum Skyrim on my PlayStation because I forgot you can't play through it with mods, or you don't get your trophies. But on PC, you can play through with mods and still get achievements on Steam. But yeah, Elder Scrolls 6. If they do a Series X exclusive console, I will buy it because I'm an Elder Scrolls nerd.
Do you think they would put it on PC?
They'll put Elder Scrolls 6. They're not going to make Elder Scrolls 6 exclusive, but I'm saying if they do like a console modeled after the game, like with a themed console,
I see.
I'll purchase that. Yeah.
Brian,
yes.
You're nuts.
Why? I plan on getting a Series X eventually anyways.
As do I. But I'm sure as all of us know, whenever you buy a console that is exclusive to said game content or whatnot, the new consoles are already what, $500-$600? I'm pretty sure they bumped it about to 8 or 9.
No, it won't.
Yeah, you won't.
It won't. It won't. The
you won't, Microsoft.
The Spider-Man exclusive
right?
The Spider-Man exclusive one was for PlayStation 4 was a little bit more expensive, but it's because it came with the game.
Okay.
It was like maybe $70 more than base price system, which isn't that bad.
I couldn't speak. I haven't really bought any like exclusive, any like designed, like the only thing I had that was close to that was like a Mario themed DS Lite, I think it was. It had like the Mario symbol on it. That broke. I don't know where the hell that went, but it's gone. I don't have it. But yeah, I did have one of those. Now I just have my old DSi, and Brian, you sell my 3DS, don't you?
Somewhere in my room, yeah.
Somewhere.
Oh no. Yeah,
I was replaying Sun on it, and then I was just like, "Where'd it go?" It's in my room. It's in my tech drawer. I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure Brandon still has my Uncharted 4, and he definitely still has my Last of Us 2.
And your controller.
Do you guys hear that?
Yes.
The car going down the street?
Is that a car or is that a helicopter?
It's a car.
It's a car.
It's a truck. Oh, I wonder if it's the truck that's parked in front of Tony's house.
Jerk.
Yeah, he took Sam's parking spot.
Wow.
Every time.
I don't even know who that is. I've never seen that truck in my life.
Neither have we.
That must be the neighbors.
It's got to be It's not just a random truck.
Yeah, it must be like someone that's staying at the neighbors unless they got a new car. There's so many people there all the time. I don't know what happens there. In the summer, they had like a lot of parties. Like sometimes I would come home from work and I'd see a bonfire in their backyard, and they'd have mariachi music playing.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
And they like whenever they're like outside, they'll like play with the soccer ball. Sometimes they'll kick it over the fence, and like we'll come in the morning and see a soccer ball on our side of the fence and like throw it back over.
It's actually not even theirs.
What do you guys think Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be about?
I do believe that.
Oh my God, there's so many things it could be about. Jack and I have been debating this for a while.
But then I was interrupted by Brian.
I'm sorry, I wasn't. You were quiet. I couldn't hear
Brian,
you.
continue.
No, you continue.
No, Brian.
Okay, I think it could be about the other continent. God, I cannot remember the name right now, but the other. But Jack seems to think they wouldn't do that because there's still other places in Tamriel that we haven't seen.
That's true. Like haven't seen at all. Like
haven't seen in an official game. We've seen it in Elder Scrolls Online. That doesn't really count.
Yeah.
People are thinking it could be Black Marsh. People are thinking it could be elsewhere. The little teaser trailer they put out, it looks like semi-desert mountainy, so it could be elsewhere, but I'm don't
sure it is
think they'd do it.
I remember people.
Also, are there going to still be dragons? Because if it takes place after Skyrim, the dragons weren't actually killed completely off. Because even after you defeat Alduin, you still fight the legendary dragons that'll appear occasionally. So, are dragons back in Tamriel? Is that going to be a thing? I have a feeling if they don't have dragons in the game, or at least some form of dragons, they might lose some kind of business because a lot of people like the dragons.
Or if it's before Skyrim, before.
I don't see why they do that. But
have they done it in
everything's been following? Yeah.
Okay, so everything's been in chronological order so far.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Hammerfell.
I thought there was already a place. Yeah, I thought there was already a playthrough in Hammerfell.
I don't think so.
No?
Because you said the second one was Daggerfall, right?
Mm-hmm.
Daggerfall Covenant would be that area. Because Daggerfall Covenant's up here, Hammerfell's up here, and then there's the Ebonheart Pact, which is over here, and then down here would be the Aldemir Dominion. But yeah, it definitely could be
Hammerfell.
Sorry. I mean, it's a possibility, but I don't really see them going back to that area.
I honestly think it will be because there's a buttload of water.
I mean, yeah, but it also could be the southeast because we haven't been down there too much. Because it's got Black Marsh elsewhere.
That'd be dope.
Anything like that. Because we've seen, the home of the Nords, the home of the Bretons. No, Redguard.
Redguard. Yeah.
And orcs would be over there as well.
Yes.
Then
the Khajiit are from
elsewhere.
Elsewhere, yeah.
Yeah. And the Argonians are from Black Marsh, so it could easily be those. I'd love to see that kind of stuff. Or, like I said, could be the other continent, but it's not as... I will agree with Jack, it's not as likely that they'd go there, but in a lot of the books, they mention it, and it just sounds really cool.
I want to see what that's like, the other continent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to see a different new race kind of be more prominent throughout the story.
Yeah.
What is that other continent called?
It's on the tip of my tongue, and I cannot remember for some reason, but Yeah, there's a lot of just little things that they hint at in some of the books in Skyrim for the next
Cyrodiil, Skyrim, High Rock, Morrowind, Black Marsh, Elsewhere, Valenwood, and there's one that's off the coast.
Nirn.
Somerset.
Is that what it's called? Nirn?
Nirn's the world.
Yeah, Nirn is the world.
Oh. Tamriel. Akavir?
That's what
Akavir. That's what it's called. There's two more. There's Atmora and Lig.
Yes, those are mentioned, but not as in detail. Not in as much detail as Akavir, because there's a war between Tamriel and Akavir.
Yes.
Interesting. That's interesting. How there's so much lore in this game. I'm just looking at. I'm only looking at the 4 continents listed right there, and there's a map of Tamriel, and then there's an image, a rendering of what Akavir could look like.
Yeah.
And then Atmora and Lig are obscure images because there's no
there's
real,
not even description really of what their lands are like. They've been mentioned, they've just never been described very well.
That's so interesting to me because
so supposedly Elder Scrolls Online before everything happened.
Yeah, Elder Scrolls Online was the
2,000
earliest
years before.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. I think it's 1,000 years before Skyrim.
Isn't it a whole? I thought it was 2 whole eras before Skyrim.
How long is an era?
I don't know. There's different eras. I know. I don't know that.
It is
much
2 whole
about
eras.
It,
I think an era is about 1,000 years, so maybe it is 2,000 years. But
oh wait, all items 8. Wait, so are there 8 continents? There's Akavir, Aldemiris. Is that how you say it?
They all Dominion.
Atmora, Lig, Piandonia, Tamriel, Thraz, and Yokuda. Dang. So they have all the continents, but they still
there is so much they can do with this series that they haven't. We've only been to Tamriel.
What if we just traveled from continent
and
to
even
continent?
Tamriel is so fleshed out.
It's massive.
It's massive.
Yeah, there's so much lore for the wars and stuff and everything like that, and there's
so,
still other dimensions too.
It's so mysterious. I can only imagine how because we nowadays we can look up anything about any other continents in the world and learn about it.
Yeah,
and that's really cool, but just imagining how that must have been before all that information was just out there for everyone to learn.
You don't hear about news instantly,
Yeah, you knew that there were probably people on those continents, but you didn't know anything
about that continent,
about them.
Yeah.
So you knew they existed, but you didn't know anything about them. That just seems really cool to me.
Yeah.
How Tamriel is right now. Mm-hmm. It's especially since it's a fictional world.
Yeah. And that's what I love about, well, I should say video games in general, but it's what I love about massive RPGs like that.
Yeah.
Because it's you get so invested into that world and you really think about it. It's just interesting that somebody has sat down and they've fleshed out all this lore and all this stuff, and it almost feels like another real world.
Yeah.
That you're just viewing through something. Which in reality, even though it doesn't really exist, it is another world.
It's a completely other world.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what Jack is doing in terms of
the tabletop game that he is working on with no official name yet.
Yeah, lore. And he was telling us we actually impact the world and we can make things happen or not happen. We can change things actively in his world. So for those of you who don't know, our friend Jack is kind of making this. It's a tabletop game, kind of like D&D, but it's his own version of it.
Yeah,
it's a whole nother game, and he's making his. How it started was he was gonna make a whole nother campaign, because before the campaign that we were playing with him was just kind of a test thing, not a real world. So he started making his own real world, decided that he wanted to change so much of it that he just ended up deciding to make a whole new game. So just like
his mind is amazing. The things that he can sit down and think of in an hour,
come up with. Yeah, some of the things that he tells me about his world, just like he'll just say something obscure about his world, and it'll amaze me.
Yeah, and not to mention he's got like several different dimensions that he has fleshed out, and like it's just so awesome. And it's like, our friends and everything who wouldn't normally be into tabletop role playing games like that, like Brandon, Michaela, I think you even said you were interested in playing, right?
Yeah, but I've always loved stuff like that.
Yeah, and it's just like we have these people that don't normally play who are now really interested just hearing Jack talk about it and how passionate he is about what he's made. Like, he has full fleshed out governments, like stuff in the world that we won't even know about until we go there. Like, there's wilderness that has never been touched by people in his world.
That we probably will not ever know.
Exactly. But he has fully fleshed out in case we ever do stumble upon it. He thinks ahead so much.
I plan on being mischievous.
And he's going to have to adjust for a massive party because we're going to be huge. Like...
Yeah, if that many people are actually going to be playing throughout the whole thing,
and I'm sure we'll have swap outs and people who can't make it to certain things where we'll just play and just have like some kind of excuse or say like we just left somebody somewhere.
Yeah, there's one time where we literally just left Mikey in our tower
in a comatose state.
Yeah, he was in a coma. Why? What was the explanation for that?
There was no explanation. He just was in he was in a coma, and we just left.
And then he woke up by the time we got back.
I'm pretty sure I kicked him. Jack robbed him, and then we left. Because Jack was a rogue, so he took all Mikey's money.
That's funny.
Well, I mean, with that being said, I think if other people are interested in hearing about Jack's world, eventually when we actually get started playing it, do you guys think that we should probably like invite Jack to one of these episodes?
We should definitely see if he'd be comfortable coming on. Yeah, definitely.
He doesn't have to talk about his world, but he can talk about his ideas, his creativity process, and how he thinks through these things, if he's willing.
Be a really interesting episode.
I'd really love to have just an episode talking about our D&D experiences.
Oh yeah, that's a whole thing. But yeah, also like it'd be really cool to hear his like perspective's not the right word. Or it'd be good like advertisement because he does eventually want to get this game published.
Hey, more power to him, man.
And I've had people at work who I've told about, not like coworkers, but like people who come in for D&D stuff. I'm like, oh hey, like my friend's working on a thing. And I've had people go, yeah, I'd love to be a test player for that. I'm like, well, we've already hung out test players, but yeah, we, and they're regulars. So they ask me about it occasionally. I'm like, yeah, this is going this way. It's like, I'm publicizing it, but it's not even like.
So Jack, when you hear this,
I mean, I'll probably end up telling them about it.
No, you can't give up now.
Yeah, you're stuck. You're.
And if you stop, we will find you.
We know where you live. You just gave us your address.
Wait, that didn't come out right.
What did you say?
Nothing. But so that's it, guys. That's it for Junk Drawer episode 6. I'm happy that you guys have tuned in. We're all happy that you guys have tuned in.
No, this is episode 7.
This is 7?
This is 7.
Yeah, I've been editing
5, 6. Yeah.
I'm still editing episode 5. I put out episode 5. I'm still editing episode 6.
That's right. That's why.
So this will be 7.
So, yes, thank you for tuning into episode 7. I do apologize. It's been a long day for me. I don't know about these guys, but...
Yeah, go home and get some sleep after this.
That's the plan. That is the plan.
That is the plan.
But stay tuned for more from Junk Drawer. We are happy to help and provide you guys with this excellent and special content.
And maybe we'll be playing some modded Minecraft or something soon.
Maybe so. All right, guys. You guys have a good one. Thank you. Have a good one.
Yep.
See ya. Bye. Get out of here.